For the latest film interviews, reviews and everything making news in pop culture, subscribe to Film Companion now.
Unbelievable! Kya keh rahe ho tum? But how is this possible? These lines are uttered by a character in Dybbuk, but they might also be flitting through your head as you watch this horror film which is based in Jewish folklore. Dybbuk is an evil spirit that can possess a human being. The Dybbuk in the film is quietly biding time in an antique wine cabinet. The cabinet is purchased by Mahi, who along with her husband Sam has recently moved to Mauritius. The couple live in a sprawling colonial bungalow which Mahi is hoping to spruce up. He is the vice president of a company that handles nuclear waste. She is an interior designer. Mahi of course has no idea that evil lurks within. She inadvertently lets the Dybbuk out and all hell breaks loose. The film has been remade by director JK, who also wrote and directed the Malayalam original Ezra. In an interview, JK said that the Hindi version is crisper and scarier than the original, but having seen both, I can attest that this is not the case. Ezra had football-sized loopholes in logic, but JK, making his feature debut, delivered a gripping yarn with enough dramatic tension and one solid twist. Ezra is located in Kochi. The film exoticizes the Jewish community, but JK was able to utilize the locales effectively with soaring shots of the water and greenery. A flashback to Ezra's story set in pre-independent India had some lovely sepia-tone moments. The change of location to Mauritius and Dybbuk sucks the specificity out of the story. This saga of forbidden love across the ages, violence and revenge could happen anywhere. JK does little with this new location over the native customs and language. Every character in Mauritius speaks Hindi fluently. Of course, horror films are by design unrealistic, but the best ones are constructed so tightly that the viewer doesn't have the breathing room to ask, how is this possible? Dybbuk misses this goal by miles. JK relies on familiar horror tropes, point of view shots, an empty rocking chair, a child's toy that squeaks when somebody steps on it, the ghost in the mirror, incessant rain, and more. There are one or two mildly effective jump scares. Dybbuk has more horror moments than Ezra, but too often they don't land. For instance, Mahi and Sam's housemaid. JK projects her as sinister, but eventually this doesn't amount to much. Ezra benefited from the presence of actors like Prithviraj Sukumaran and Tovino Thomas, who have the ability to add gravitas to the most ridiculous situations. Still, Bharat Dabolkar playing a black magic-wielding Jewish businessman had touches of unintentional comedy. In Dybbuk, Emraan Hashmi and Manav Kaul, who plays a rabbi named Marcus, do the heavy lifting. Emraan is a veteran of the horror genre with films like the Raz franchise and Ek Thi Dayan. He knows the drill, but here he seems oddly casual about the events that are unfolding around him. The feeble dialogue doesn't help. In one scene, when Mahi comes to Sam terrorized after seeing a spirit, he coos, "Take it easy, baby, main hoon na." Nikita Dutta, who you might recognize from The Big Bull, is either perplexed or horizontal, lying in a hospital bed or having collapsed on the floor. The one bright spark is Manav doing his best to give Marcus mischievousness and authority. JK repeats himself almost frame to frame. Even a close-up of a man's ear dripping with sweat when he hears the Dybbuk behind him is recreated. But one of the places JK deviates from his earlier film is in the staging of the key twist in the film which binds the narrative threads. We finally understand the reason for Sam's unique job, but the way this is constructed in Dybbuk is confusing and almost a little silly. Since Ezra and Dybbuk are essentially replicas and both are available on streaming, I recommend that you watch the Malayalam original. That does have a few surprises. For more reviews like this, subscribe to Film Companion and don't forget to check out our website filmcompanion.in.